Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gadis of Made by Mutiara, and today I'm doing something new. I'm gonna show you my bullet journal. So in 2019, last year, I started watching a lot of bullet journal videos. Like, there are so many on the internet, and you know, when you start one you can't stop. So that's what happened to me, and I thought like, hey, you know what I've been doing last year as well? I've been using 3 different books for many different purposes. Like, who does that? This book is more of my monthly challenges, and then I have this book which is all for my Etsy related stuff. Like, when it comes to planning, I rather write it down. I even have like a packaging plan, like, yeah. And lastly, I have this 2019-2020 planner, which is the same as the first one, but this was more for tracking my to-do list. So yeah, that's what I use 3 different books for. So I thought like, hey, why not for 2020 I have everything in one book consolidated. And I thought like, you know what, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I did try to read Ryder Carroll's bullet journaling book. He's the creator of the bullet journal. So I bought this while I was in Scotland, and I like the color, and I was like, you know what, the best way to start is with the original book, you know. And I come to learn that maybe that wasn't the best choice, but oh well, I still have one anyway. I also did try to do a plan with me video at the beginning of January, but that was a big fail because this camera I'm using could only record up to 15 minutes and then got cut off. So I was like, what's the point? But ultimately what I'm gonna do is flip through and just show you what I have. Yeah. Okay, one last thing, okay? I mostly do calligraphy in my free time. Does not mean that, you know, I am the most like elaborate in terms of my spread. Oh my god, I have not used a brush pen in the longest time. So it was a big mess when you see some of my lettering, so just a disclaimer. Whatever I'm doing my calligraphy is that bullet journaling is something new, so I did not have so much of a theme. Yeah, so this is my tools for bullet journaling. So yeah, I just like chose a few colors and ran with it, and I was like, it's okay, it's my first one. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the book that I've decided to use is this bullet journal branded book, which is I think the Lechtum 97, and I like this color, and I was like, just got it for myself for Christmas. So yeah, and this is the cover page, and yeah, I was like, what am I gonna write? 2020. So creative. Oh my god. I stopped tracking in my index page, so note to self, I'm not gonna have that. Okay, so most people will usually start with a month, like a yearly overview, something like the one at the bottom here. You see, I had this book for like the longest time, since 2019, and I've never referred to this page at all. So I didn't have a yearly overview, so I just straight away went into using a future log so I can still see all the months. So I kept track of all the dates and birthdays and stuff like that. And color wise, it's not really anything fancy, it's just 6 pens, 6 colors, and then I repeated the color scheme over here as well. Oh my god, you see, I thought Hamilton is coming in theaters in 2020. I was so happy I wrote it down. It's 2021, my goodness. Next page is my grid spacing sheet, which is very helpful. So if anyone is starting bullet journaling, it's good to have something like this. So I realized that I had to do my own because all books are different. Because I tried to copy one of the other books, I realized, hey, it's just different. So yeah, that's what I did. And the next page over here is my ideal day, okay? So I just list out some of the parts that I like to do. And basically in the day, I'm doing all things that are creating related, like for Instagram and Etsy as well. And then at night is where I don't really need sunlight, and I do all the other things like research or prepping for the next day. So yeah, the next page I have is the growth tracker. So I just thought, hey, you know what, it'll be nice to see how much I've grown on social media over the years. So I've only filled in January. As of filming this, I've not reached the end of the month, so I wrote here a note for myself. And I thought like, oh, so cool if I have it like swirly whirly. And yeah, this is my attempt at being very creative, but clearly it's not working out. Anyway, The next page I have is my Hello 2020 goals. I kind of really like the way I wrote this out. So I divided my goals to 4 different parts. First one being for my Etsy business, next one is for myself, and my New Year resolution for the year is to not buy any more potato chips or crisps. Okay, so let's close the YouTube part. For my creative self, because I feel that it's important for me to keep growing, so I wanted to try chalkboards. I've been doing that quite a bit. I want to start botanical line drawing. I've not done that yet, and I want to finish my watercolor lessons. More on that in a future video. For my YouTube, let's say I've not really been, fallen off the bandwagon, I would say. Let's just say that I've been progressing on these three, so good for me. Next page is my wish list for 2020 and my gratitude log. For my wish list, I don't really have a list. I actually come out with these kinds of things in the spur of the moment. Each different spur of the moments, I write it as a whole line. I have different things that I wish for at different parts of time. So this is more of like what I wish to have. The one in black is where I wish to go while I'm still in the US. And the last thing is what I wish to do for my laptop stuff. For gratitude log, I didn't want to write out stuff because I feel like I kind of do a bit of logging in my monthly pages. So I thought, hey, let me illustrate some of the highlights here. So for January, I frosted banjo, if you remember. We went fresh farms, which is awesome because I had a lot of Asian ingredients there. We did a hot pot with some of our friends. I did some chalkboard lettering, which I really liked. And I got a care package from my friends in Singapore, so that was my highlight of January. For February, I'm not sure yet, but let's see what else put up. Next page. So this is more of like my notes page. I did have a lot of plans for my YouTube channel, and for my Etsy shop, some of them are tasks, some of them are planned. So this is more like a notes page. I didn't really specify like, ideas page. See, this all starts as drafts at first, and now they are greeting cards on my shop. Please check out my Etsy shop. Thank you. Next page. So one of the problems I have on Instagram is that I cannot remember who I have followed on Instagram or who have I not been seeing on Instagram. I want to make sure that I check on them once in a while. So if you see your name here, hello, I just want to say that it's the algorithm that doesn't show your work. So I will try my best to go in if I realize that I've not been seeing them as often as I would. But so far, I think when I'm looking at this list, I have been seeing more or less all of them. So yay. I like this page a lot. So this is where I have shipped my Etsy orders to in America. So like I said, I didn't know what to write for this, but I know I wanted this as a landscape page. So I wrote down all of these states where I've shipped to, and I've drawn diagonal lines across just to signify, yes, I have shipped here. And look, California and Texas. Woohoo! Thank you so much, people from California and Texas, for buying stuff from my Etsy shop. I'm so grateful for you. Alright, and let's take a look at the next page. And yes, I am refilming this on another day, just don't mind that. So this is the start of all of my monthly spreads. So I use a quote from one of my favorite Instagram poets, which is Morgan Harper Nicole, and I just use some faux calligraphy to letter this out. And this is the theme that I'm gonna go with all of my monthly spreads, just a quote from her in this style. Alright, and let's see what I have for the monthly spread. So I like my monthly calendar to be as big as possible, and what I mostly do is just log stuff that happens and track down my Instagram posts. I have a notes over here. Yeah, next page. Alright, so for my weekly spreads, I adopt the same system for all of the weeks, and this, if I'm not wrong, is called the Dutch door. And what I like is the ability to see my habit tracker for the whole month in a glance. I don't have to keep rewriting it. I think that's one of my preferences. I don't like to rewrite each week to be the same thing. So because I don't really have a set schedule for each day, I do everything task based, and this is the Alastair method, which I will link a video down below by Boho Berry where I learned this from. As I go along my list, I take out or I migrate the different tasks accordingly, and I just write any additional notes of what I need to do for that week over here, and then this is for next week. So if you want to see a setup of how I do this, you can check out my video maybe next month where I set up for April. And what I really like about bullet journaling, which I come to really appreciate, is that I can add on pages without, you know, worrying about, oh, I need to have this by this month. So what I have on the following pages are just a swatch page of that bunch of pens that I showed you in the beginning. I did some target setting for my Etsy business. I'm part of the Handmade Journey Academy. I took some notes of what I can remind myself to do, and these are all just parts of the target setting part. And yeah, these are my 90-day goals. And because I ran out of space for the list of Instagram friends, I wrote them another list over here, and I'll be adding on as well. This is some ideas I had to spice up the aesthetic, which I really like having all this outline of the backgrounds. I wrote what I would like to letter over here, and this is a very Singlish phrase which I was feeling at the moment. What to letter? No idea already. I am starting Pinterest, so this is one of the aims I have for 2020. So these are some notes that I've taken down based on some of the videos I've watched, and these are also some under notes from online modules or courses. And with that being said, we're now on to February 2020, and this is what I meant by my lettering being very rubbish to my standard, I must say. If I could, I would redo it, but because I was like, I don't want to waste paper, so I decided to keep it. So this is another quote by Morgan Harper Nicole, and just a reminder myself, slow and steady growth. Yep. This month I did my monthly calendar a bit differently. I incorporated a mood tracker annotated by the side over here, and I kind of like seeing about how I felt about the whole month in general. I can see that in the beginning of the week I usually have my anxious set of sick days, but end of the week I'm more productive in that sense. The different part about February is that I've made my habit tracker all at the bottom instead of the top, because I find that eventually there might be a lot of space lost over here because of how they stack. So I thought I'll be alternating every month. I feel pretty okay with that, and I'm very happy with the fact that I don't really have to keep changing my weekly layout. That's one of the things that I don't really, you know, want to do. So I decided to stick to one layout and just, you know, play around with the fonts and such and change the colors here and there. But yeah, that's all I have for you today.
So yeah, that's it for my bullet journaling video. If you'd like to see more or see how I set up my pages for March, just let me know. I probably won't do many bullet journaling videos, probably do one after I finish this journal. And yeah, I'm so excited. I really kind of like what I've done so far. Although I think in the future I'll probably get one of those thicker books written by Archer and Olive or Dingbats. I'm not too sure. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like what I've done. I'm definitely gonna plan more videos in the future that are more calligraphy related, but in the meantime, if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel, say hello in the comments, and you can find me mostly on Instagram, so say hello to me there as well. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.